All right. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Yes, before Putnam County is now in session. God bless the United States. God bless Putnam County. God bless this honorable commission. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate you being here. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. The invocation and pledge will be led by District 11.
We've asked Keith Tosh to come and lead us in opening prayer.
Let's pray. Our Father God in heaven, we are so thankful for this day that you have blessed us with. And God, we know that everything that is good and perfect comes from you. And we're so blessed to live in this great nation, in this great state, and this great county. And Lord, we do thank you for the officers and the EMTs and the first responders and all of those, God, who work in this county tirelessly. And Lord, we do, as was mentioned earlier by Mayor Porter, Lord, we do pray for Sully and Rachel and their little baby. God, that you would bless them at this time and encourage them during this time of sickness, and we pray for healing. And God, we're just thankful for this county commission. We pray for each of them, all these men and women that lead and make decisions in our county. Lord, we pray that you would just have your hand upon them and you would lead them. Lord, they would look to your leadership. And God, you'd continue to bless this great county. And we'll continue to give you praise for all things in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
Would you please call the roll, Mr. Clerk?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you take your handsets and everybody press yes and stop right there for me, please. All right. Everybody now press confirm for me, if you will, please. Everybody press confirm. That way we'll know you're here. All right. Mr. Chairman, of all 24 present, I declare a quorum tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Item number 5, approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second on the agenda. Are there any changes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have an approved agenda. Item number 6, approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any changes to the minutes of the previous meeting? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes have been approved. Item number 7, unfinished business and action thereon by the board. A, report of standing committees, planning committee.
No unfinished business.
Fiscal review committee,
No unfinished business.
nominating committee.
No unfinished business.
Thank you all, Chairman, Madam Chairman. Item B, public comment period. Mayor, do we have anybody listed to speak tonight? Okay. Item C, report of special committees. That is me. Here we go. Consideration of the Putnam County fiscal year 2024-2025 county budget presented by the Budget Committee. I'm Committee Chairman, and I do want to take this moment to thank the Budget Committee members that served. We have Commissioner Jonathan Williams, Adam Johnson, Grover Bennett, Ron Chaffin, Kathy Dunn, David Andrews, David Gentry, and Dale Moss. I appreciate your service on the committee and all the effort you put in. I do want to start by saying that there's only been one change to the budget since the last Budget Committee meeting, and that happened due to a meeting last week by our Putnam County City of Cookeville Chamber of Commerce that met on Thursday morning as a board of directors, and they made a recommendation as a board, a majority, I think a full majority, overwhelming majority, to implement and move the Visitors Bureau, the Putnam County Visitors Bureau, into our budget to be part of our county function. So before, we were giving the Visitors Bureau a contribution of hotel motel tax every year capped at $300,000. Now they would be just moved in, if you approve, as a county commission, into the economic industrial development budget. Mayor Porter is going to speak, but that's the only change we had, and it just happened last Thursday. So the Budget Committee has not had time to meet between Thursday and Monday. That's the only change we have, and I'll recognize Mayor Porter at this time to give you further information.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
This
This has been talked about for a while, but it just kind of all of a sudden came about and got approved. We were approached by the Commissioner for Tourism of the state, came and met with Amy and I and Ben and some of us, and they were looking at giving us more money. So if this move happens, and let's go back to some history, I'm not sure what year that it actually happened, but at some point, the Visitors Bureau was moved to the Chamber. And we've been funding about 90+% of the cost of that, up to $300,000. We give $300,000 to the Chamber each year for the Visitors Bureau. The city started a while back giving $25,000. And so once they've been operating it for the last several years, the state, if we move it over to the county, and those folks that work for the Chamber come with it, they're willing to give us an extra $250,000 grant to help with tourism and the Visitors Bureau. Also, we get some other grants that come about, but the one big thing that we get, and it's kind of a win-win for us, with the new convention center and new fairgrounds about to open here in the fall, we need somebody, and we're going to have to hire somebody that would sell that would try to get folks to come in, rent the convention center and the fairgrounds and so forth. So if we take these folks, Shan Stout, who is the director of the Visitors Bureau, would be the one to do that. And so we'd be gaining 3 full-time employees, 1 part-time employee. They would still operate the same way they're operating today, except they would become their own department under county government inside the Industrial Development Board. It's not costing the county anything. No tax dollars go into it. It's the hotel motel tax that pay it. Plus, we're going to get this $250,000 that's coming from the state to help us in the future to be able to operate the Visitors Bureau. We're going to get about a $340,000 fund balance that's at the Chamber that's going to be coming over to us. And so with all of us that met, the Chamber boards, Executive Committee, Finance Committee, myself, I talked to the city, they're looking at upping their increase above $25,000, but they didn't have any opposition to it. Everybody thinks it's a good idea to do it and thinks it's a win-win for everyone. So we'd like to, as part of the budget, and it's already in your budget, is instead of us giving the Chamber $300,000 this coming year, starting September 1st, we keep that money inside of the Industrial Development Fund, and we just operate the Visitors Bureau ourselves instead of it being operated by the Chamber.
Is this the tourism facility across from the depot? Mm-hmm. And they're going to move out to the Tennessee Avenue?
Well, that is rented. That office is rented. We would keep it open, and then they'll have an office in the new Visitors Bureau and Convention Center at the fairgrounds, which was helped paid for by that $2.5 million grant that we got from the state.
Is the $250,000 from the state a one-time or recurring?
Well, as of right now, it'll be for a couple of years. They'll give us that, and we've got a couple of years to spend it, and then we're looking for more after that. So there's no guarantee, but we know we're going to get it for the first couple of years.
All right, I'll recognize those. Commissioner Stanley, hit your button next time if you don't care. That's okay. Okay, I want to say before I take comments or questions, we do have our CEO and President of the Chamber, Miss Amy New, and we have Ms. Shan Stout, who's the Director of the Visitors Bureau, in with us. We also have other Chamber employees, Adam, Colin, Lynn, and then, of course, Angie. So they're all here tonight in support of this as well. I serve as the Vice Chair of the Visitors Bureau Council. I'm on the Chamber Board as well. We've been working on this for a little while together, hand in hand with them. It just was approved last week, so now we have to approve it in our budget. So, first up, go ahead, Mayor.
I'm going to say one more thing. The reason we didn't add this, and we talked to Jeff, the reason we didn't add this to fiscal reviews agenda is because if you do that, you're going to vote on the budget before you ever get to all the items that's on fiscal review. So it's kind of a quandrum as to where it went. So we felt like that it was best to put it under the budget so you'd be able to hear it there and it wouldn't get messed then.
Commissioner Wilson?
Yeah, I had 2 questions, and Sam asked one of them. Was that $250,000 or $200,000 grant? That was more than $250, more than 1 year, possibly 2.
We have 2 years to spend that $250,
okay.
Which that's a lot of money.
So $250 is max.
$250 for the first 2 years.
Okay.
And then we'll be looking for that grant hopefully in the future or with some like it.
I think this is great. I think this is going to be a good thing, and I think Shan's going to be awesome, as she still is and always will be. But my question is does this mean we've added 3 new employees to the insurance program and to the retirement and everything else? And all that's been calculated inside this budget?
That's all coming inside that,
Okay.
that money.
Thank you.
It's already in Fund 119.
Okay.
Because they've got those benefits and everything.
Just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Commissioner Gentry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, but my question's already been answered.
Thank you, Commissioner Gentry. Commissioner Bennett? Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. Commissioner Cassidy?
Mayor, very quickly, you said the city was going to continue to donate, for lack of a better term, but to kick in. We'll just roll that straight into our budget.
They'll donate to us instead of donating to the chamber.
And you said this is going to be where in the budget?
It's in the 119 Fund, Industrial Development and Tourism.
So the fund balance that'll be coming with that will
Go
into
there. And we'll save that money and it'll only be used towards the tourism department.
Any more questions or comments? So this is already included in the budget, so no motion needed right now. If you approve the budget, then you've approved this action, okay? I'll add to this, the chamber has done well with the Visitors Bureau and set us up for success in this matter, and I'm very thankful for that. So appreciate you all being here tonight and all the work you've done towards making this happen. Okay, we'll move on with the budget. Before we vote, I do have to make sure our county employees that are commissioners or the ones that have spouses understand that you benefit from some of the action tonight. Now, my recommendation, if you so oblige, is to approve this budget as a whole, and I'll read all those funds here in just a minute, but we did this last year, approve all 16 funds as a whole, and that doesn't mean you can't make amendments. There's a time for that. I'm not cutting that out. It just expedites the process, and we don't have a lot of going on that I see. Budget met 5 times. How many times? But we met 5 times. It's probably record low. But I do want to mention, if I've missed somebody, please raise your hand. So it's you or your spouse that are employees of the county that benefit, okay? Dane Holmes, your wife, still at the school? Yes. Teresa Tays, still at Codes. Ron Chaffin still works for the schools. Anyone else that I miss, you or your spouse benefits from working from the county, gets a payroll. Okay, so now.
But they do not have to abstain.
They don't have to abstain because we're going to vote as a whole, but they do have to declare that they are an employee or spouse is an employee and recognize there is a direct conflict. But by law, by state law, TCA, they can vote. That's what the law says, okay? Yes. But they have to recognize that. So Commissioner Holmes, I'll start with you. Just recognize your wife works for the schools. And
yes. Yes.
Yes, okay. Works for me. I mean, hey. Commissioner Chaffin? And Commissioner Tays?
I'm an employee of the Putnam County Building and Codes Department.
Thank you. So Commissioner Tays will be general fund, Commissioners Holmes and Chaffin will be the schools. Okay, any questions on that? Perfect. So now, I'm going to entertain a motion from someone and a second before we can do anything. We have to have a motion second to approve the following funds, budget funds as a whole. General Fund 101, Solid Waste Fund 116, Opioid Abatement Fund 117, Industrial Economic Development Fund 119, Special Purpose Fund Preservation Records Fund 121, Drug Control Fund 122, Parks and Recreation 123, Other Special Revenue Fund, Veterans Building Fund 128, Debt Service Fund 151, Capital Projects Fund 171, Community Development Fund 359, Highway Public Works Fund 131, General Purpose School Fund 141, Schools Federal Projects Fund 142, Schools Central Cafeteria Fund 143, and Extended School Program 146. Chelsea, Randy, did I miss anything? Hallelujah. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve those funds as a consolidated whole.
Motion to approve those funds consolidated into one vote, please.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Okay. If you're interested in changing any part of the budget of any of these funds, you'll push your button to be recognized. I'll recognize you. You'll state your change in the form of an amendment to this motion, okay? It's going to be an amendment to the motion. We've done this in the past. And then we'll vote on that amendment first. Commissioner Facinto.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to commend the Budget Committee. I attended several of your meetings, and I thought you were very thorough and very well thought out budget for this year. There was at your last Budget Committee meeting, they attended a little bit of discussion and a couple of votes in reference to the senior centers and the amount of money being given to them. And some of them had not sent in numbers and different things. And I kind of hold that program kind of near and dear to my heart. Some of my family members attend, and I think they do really good work. The mayor, I want to appreciate, reached out to them and got their attendance numbers on a weekly basis. And I put a little formula together. I'll read the numbers. Cookeville sees approximately 175 people a week, and these are meal numbers. They're feeding this many people. Baxter, 150. Allgood, approximately 115. Monterey, about 90 to 100. So Cookeville was approved for $50,000 as a base number. And from my knowledge at the Budget Committee, and any of you that want to speak to this can maybe shed some more light on it, but there was no real formula in the past. It was kind of like randomized numbers. So what I did is, based on the attendance numbers that the mayor gathered, with Baxter seeing 150 people as a percentage of what Cookeville sees, would give them 42.5 for this year's budget cycle. Allgood, with their attendance numbers, would qualify for 32.5, and Monterey would be 30,000. And if my memory serves me right, that's no increase for Cookeville, and I think Baxter was approved for, I think, 35-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood, so it's a little bit of increase there, as well as a slight increase for Allgood and Monterey. But I'd like to put that in the form of a motion that we provide the senior numbers for their centers of support for this year: 50,000 for Cookeville, 42.5 for Baxter, 32.5 for Allgood, and 30,000 for Monterey.
Second.
I have a motion second on the amendment.
Second.
Any discussion? Commissioner Donadio.
What's that total increase in budgetary, what's the bottom line on that?
Could you help me with that, Mr. Chairman, where you're looking at the current number? I don't have what was in the budget originally. It's
So it's going to be a total of $194,000. What was originally proposed is $125,000. That was some quick math I just did.
68-ish?
So 194, it's, yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's all I need to know.
Thank you. You have a question, Commissioner Moore? Okay. Commissioner Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just first of all, I want to commend Commissioner Vicento and the mayor for gathering this information. I know I was part of the Budget Committee, and the discussion comment I made, I think, before was that felt like we were flying blind on this issue. There were requests coming in for additional funds, but we did not have any data to back it up. So now that we have that data, I'm grateful. And also, I hope that this is something that we will continue to do annually, is to gather that data and assess each year so that we can go forward in a formulaic manner rather than haphazardly. So thank you.
I'm sorry, it's $155,000. So it's not quite as much.
Oh.
You good? So it's not, it's 30-something thousand more than
Yes,
what was originally appropriated.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, right.
Sorry. I didn't carry my one.
So this
Any more comments or questions?
makes an increase of how much over original budget?
It's going to be 30.
30,000 increase.
Total. What's in the budget now is $125,000 for senior citizens.
Okay. Goes to 155.
Anyone else? Commissioner Moss?
So where are you going to come up with the other 19?
I did my math wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be a $30,000 increase.
Okay, where are we going to find that at?
The answer would be revenue. I mean, revenue general fund, right? It's yeah. It would increase our proposed budget by $30,000. Yep. So it would be, currently it'd be out of fund balance, to answer your question.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Okay, so what we'll do is vote on this amendment, and then after that, I'll entertain any more amendments if you have them, okay? So we'll do a roll call. Mr. Neighbors, on this amendment.
Everybody understand what we're discussing? All right, take your handsets, ladies and gentlemen, if you favor the motion of the amendment only. Vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there. All votes are in. Does anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Please press confirm for me now, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm.
Vinny?
Oh,
Already did.
Vinny's going to confirm this.
confirm.
Don't accidentally vote against it.
There you
There
go.
we go. Got it.
He's got the bathroom.
Okay, so that amendment has approved, and then we'll have to approve the budget as amended for it to be official. So,
And, Mr. Chairman, I had one more.
go ahead. You ready, Mr. Clerk? You good?
This is something that the Budget Committee didn't get an opportunity to even look at. Most of you are aware that one of our state troopers was shot on the highway a little bit over a week ago. And in some involvement that I had in that, I recognized that there was a hole in a couple of the things that we did, and I reached out to the sheriff and questioned him on that. And I'd like to recognize the sheriff to come up, if he would, and discuss the situation of our traffic cameras. As a commission, we, if you guys remember back 6 or 7 months ago, we approved the sheriff's department to get a grant for cameras that gave them the ability to locate vehicles, stolen vehicles, and different things. So when this situation came up and there was some holes there, I questioned the sheriff as to why those cameras didn't work, and it turns out that there was some holes in the area. And Sheriff, would you address that for us, please?
Yeah, so Commissioner Vincento asked me to speak on what we call LPRs. LPRs is something that we don't talk about a lot in public because we don't want the bad actors to know about them. They're license plate readers that's stationed throughout the county on certain roads. They also come with a camera system. They feed automatically. We can insert types of vehicle, license plates, and et cetera, along with others who have them in various parts of our state and out of state. And when those vehicles go by, that actually triggers and hits some things. So, and it comes directly to our dispatch. So the night that Trooper Cothran was shot on the side of the interstate in our county, just a few hundred yards before we got to Willow exit on eastbound, going east, the bad actors left in a white vehicle and got off the interstate, turned left, and went north on Willow. And so we lost them for a while. So there was a lot of time that went by. Had we been able to have some of the readers, we do have some in our county, don't make no mistake. We have several scattered out now, but it's not enough. And the ones we have now are regulated from a grant that we got that y'all approved from the state of Tennessee, and so they regulate where we actually can put those cameras, and most of them of which are on state roads. We need some more scattered out throughout the county, and some of which on county roads that protects our border here in the county. But so it took a while. I don't mind telling you, it took a while for us to figure out and go review some film from another business on Willow to see that the bad actor's car turned around and got back on Interstate 40 going westbound. So we had some time go by. I'm not here asking for any money tonight, but I am telling you that at some point, if we can't get a grant to be able to do some more, then I will probably put that in the budget. So just here to explain that.
Would you share with us, because I asked you to put a proposal together that would fill those holes as well as the cost. Were you able to come up with those numbers of what it would be?
So we would like to start with 10 more whenever that comes about, and they're about $5,000 each. So that'd be about 50 grand for 10 more. So, and once again, for all the media, that's something that we really don't like to talk about too much, and we keep that sort of close in hand there because we don't want all the bad actors coming into our county knowing. So it's a various of things. It can be something as worse as the trooper being shot the other night, or it could be something as simple as a stolen vehicle. But they're very helpful, and it's a spontaneous reaction. So it protects Putnam County, it protects us, it protects our citizens. So
thank you, Sheriff.
Be glad to answer any questions if anybody has anything. Thank you.
Sheriff?
All right, hold on just a second. Did you hit your button? Okay, let me get to you, okay? So Commissioner Wilson, is this concerning?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. It's a question concerning the, in the budget, we've got $1,000. Is that correct?
Okay, hold off on that.
This one?
Let me make sure, I'm sorry, let me make sure there's no questions on
Oh, I'm sorry.
Vinnie's, if you made a motion to.
Now that we've heard from the sheriff and we have the number, I'd like to make a motion that we increase the sheriff's budget by $50,000 this year so we can fill the holes in our county, mainly on county roads and the areas that are going to directly affect our citizens.
Okay.
A second. A second.
So I have an amendment made by Commissioner Facento and a second to increase the budget by $50,000 in the sheriff's office line item for equipment, I assume, right, would go there? 716, thank you. Any questions on that? So I'm going to start with who I see up here. Commissioner Wilson, you're good for now, right? Yeah. Commissioner Dunn?
Yes. So what are these holes you're talking about? You keep talking about holes. Commissioner Vicento kept talking about holes. What are holes?
Empty spaces in the county that are not covered by cameras.
So let me be clear, we're never gonna put them everywhere I'd like to have them, okay? We can't afford that, but we do have a lot of places that we certainly definitely need some.
Okay.
So that's the holes.
Okay. One more question, because I observed on that particular car, would it work on temporary tags? Because I observed that car had a temporary license plate.
Yes, it works on temporary and it works on vehicles as well.
Perfect. Thank you. That's all my questions.
Commissioner Chaffin?
Sheriff, I know you can't, and I don't want to know, but how do you determine, is that going to be enough to fill holes that?
It's a start. It's a start. We may want to add some more later, but it's certainly a start.
Okay, so you say we have a certain amount now?
Yeah, and so let me explain. I touched on it earlier, but, we're not only protecting our county, we're protecting anyone who comes in for our county that's done something bad somewhere else. All these readers talk to each other for the most part. So once it's plugged in, it can be plugged in South Carolina, and if it comes here, then we know it immediately. And so it's a real helpful tool. So far, it's been very helpful, and we just don't talk about it a lot. We don't want it defeated, but it's good. It's really good.
Commissioner Hall.
I was just, going to make an observation. If you keep up with the news locally out of Nashville, you see that the first city to fall other than Nashville was where? Mount Juliet. And now we're watching Lebanon fall. If you go from Chattanooga up, you're seeing the same thing. If you go from Knoxville west, you're seeing the same thing. This county is in a very central location. The crime that is leaving the big cities and traveling to the suburbs is already here. These cameras will solve a lot of crimes. These cameras will protect a lot of people. So you've got my support.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hall certainly touched on it, and I don't want to take any more time, but we are the city and the county that all the bad actors wants to come to now. They've took, as Commissioner mentioned, Mount Juliet, so close to Nashville and Lebanon, but we're the good city here that they're wanting to come and corrupt. So we're working overtime to try to keep it like it is.
Commissioner Eldridge?
Does the city participate in this? Have they got those?
Yes, the city does. The city do have some. Yes, I'm not sure how many, but they do have some, and they do talk to each other.
So all of them are on like the same network.
Yes, there's two different networks, and they're able to talk. Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Yes, Sheriff, I got one question. What is the life expectancy of each of these cameras?
Don't know. That's a good question, but I don't think replacing parts of those would be nearly expensive as the initial setup. So, but I don't know the life expectancy. Even though they've been around a while, the technology has gotten better, and they have caught on much more as towns like us and counties like us need this. They're getting more and more plentiful throughout the nation.
Thank you. Any other discussion or comments on this amendment? Okay, Mr. Clerk.
All right, take your handsets. We're voting on strictly the amendment, increasing the sheriff's budget by the $50,000. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If not favor the motion, wait. Don't confirm just yet.
Ahead of you.
Let me get the.
Last
You made it the last time? Yeah. If you favor the motion, vote yes. Not favor the motion, vote no. Wait, stop. Don't confirm yet. Everybody's not voted. Kim? There you go. Now, all those are in. Anyone wish to change your vote anywhere? Now press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody now press confirm. Thank you. Flow with me on that tonight, if you would, please. Hang on. Mr. Chairman, we have 24 voting yes, 0 no, 0 absent. I declare that motion to have passed, the amendment to have
That's the
passed.
second amendment, and Commissioner Moss, thank you for bringing that up. To be fully transparent, that will come out of fund balance as well, so I appreciate you bringing that up, because we want to be transparent. Commissioner Wilson.
Yeah, during the Budget Committee process, I know that there was some talk about the cost of living funds that were given to each of the county employees, which Mayor Porter has been so said it many times that they're the most valuable assets that we've got in this county. I believe there was talk somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000 to give them. I think it was voted on $1,000. My question is, is there a possibility to possibly meet in the middle and bump that up to, say, $1,500 per employee? I don't know what difference that would do to the budget, but by the time you take taxes out of $1,500, that looks suspiciously like $1,000. So it would be something that we could thought to raise that up. It would be my recommendation, and that would be a motion that I would like to make. But I don't know what it would cost.
Second.
$300,000 for another $500 on top of the $1,000. Okay, so another $300,000 rough guess more. So I do have a motion.
Second.
Mr. Hall, second.
Have a second? Okay. Any questions or discussion on the amendment?
Can you explain what the motion is?
The motion, so currently in the proposed budget from Budget Committee, there is a $1,000 cost of living raise for all county employees. Commissioner Wilson has asked to increase that up to $1,500. So it'd be a $500 per employee increase, which is roughly $300,000 according to Mayor Porter. Any questions or discussion? Sorry, Commissioner Donadio, thank you.
Yeah, what is the current penny rate?
What's the current?
What is our new penny rate?
What's the current penny rate?
Yeah, the new penny rate.
You got that, Mayor.
$232,490.
So that's 1 1/4 cents. Thank you.
Commissioner Dunn?
So where will we pull that from?
Fund balance.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Commissioner Gentry?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess this question's for Mayor Porter. With all this going on and added to the budget and what have you, what's this going to do about a tax increase?
Well, we've been very conservative over the years, and this has probably been the best year we've had that I can remember since I've been in office for revenues and departments, especially the sheriff and the EMS, turning back in money because of all those employees. They couldn't get them all hired, within 12 months. But it would not cause a tax increase because you got the fund balance built up really well. You just got to remember, other than the $50,000 that you're doing for the sheriff's cameras, which is a one-time thing, I would think, the rest of it is going to be ongoing from this point forward. So you're just adding to the cost of what the budget is going forward. I don't disagree with Commissioner Wilson. They're our most prized assets, and want to help them all we can. When you look at what the city did and their raises and what I'm hearing with some of these other counties, I mean, we don't get ours raised up till somebody else is raising theirs up even more. Macon County just raised their starting paramedic pay to $95,000 a year. Ours is what, Tommy, 50, roughly 50? You can see how it's getting very competitive for those folks that are out there working, especially the folks that have degrees or special sheriff's deputies, paramedics, folks that are in specialty things that there's a shortage of healthcare and so forth. But it's adding $300 more to the budget next year is what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Cassidy?
Just want to make sure I understand all the numbers. I have to be able to do my back of the envelope math. The budget as presented is taking about $6 million, a little over $6 million, out of fund balance.
About 5.2 or 3.
Well, it's 5.2, assuming we have the $1 million left over that we normally have.
Yeah.
Again, any change we make tonight basically adds to that number.
Right.
This $1,000 that's currently in the budget and $1,500 that's been proposed, that's over and above any step raises, that's over and above, and that's across the board, that's not a...
That was your motion to be, yeah. So we're already giving everybody $1,000 across the board. You changed the pay scale last year when we did the other raises. So every county employee gets $1,200 automatic step raise. They got that July 1st, except for emergency services and law enforcement, and they get $2,000.
So this
is on top of that.
Okay. I'm good.
Commissioner Facento?
Mayor, you and I had a conversation about something you mentioned in the last budget committee, and I think it's very important after the work we did last year to get the employees' pay to where it needs to be. I was a proponent of that coming from the private sector of what the cost of turnover and rehiring, all that is. And you had made some comments. Would you share, you remember what we discussed then?
I think so.
You were talking about not having as many jobs available and things like that. Would you speak to a little bit about, in your opinion,
sure,
what those pay raises helped us do as a county last year?
So for the first time that I can remember in a very long time, we're fully employed. Now, I don't know if the sheriff still got a few of those jailers of those new ones didn't hire, but when I'm talking about other than those, I mean EMS, unless something's changed, Tommy, fully employed. Haven't seen that in years. At EMS, we were a training ground for a long time. Sheriff was a training ground. We'd get these folks in, we were training them, and they were going to another county. Right now, Chelsea, do we have any full-time openings on the website that you know of? No. Yeah, I mean, so we're in better shape employee-wise than probably we've ever been. And what we were doing is, as you know, those folks, we were spending a lot of money on them to train them, especially if they're in those jobs like Sheriff's Department where you got to send them to the academy, paramedic schools a couple of years, getting all that money invested in them, and then they were turning around and going somewhere else. And so this is the first time we've saw, that I can remember in a long time, that we saw that we're fully employed and we've stopped that situation. But I think where you're going is, if we're not careful,
be right back where
we can be right back there if we don't keep it up. And you just got to figure out where that balance is of giving them good raises and keeping their salaries up versus what you can afford in the budget. And so, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. There's a formula that's put together that we had some private studies done in private, and it's hard to identify the savings that you get by hiring a person and keeping them, and keeping not only their experience, but not having to rehire and retrain and have that turnover. It doesn't show up necessarily in our budget, but the stability in the workforce for your county makes a huge difference. So I'm definitely a proponent of Commissioner Wilson's motion and would definitely support it. Thank you.
Commissioner Bennett?
Fund balance. With the proposed budget, when we're pulling money out of there, what will our proposed fund balance be at the beginning of the year?
Our estimates is about $32 million.
After we pulled what we need off to do the budget?
If you're talking about the budget we're getting ready to pass, Grover, at the end of the year next year, we'd be at 27.62.
That's what I want to make sure of. Last year, we pulled it down to about 18.5 million. Now we're going to be 25 million.
We're going to start out, these are estimates now. Chelsea hadn't closed. We still got all kinds of stuff going on inside the financials that won't close out till sometime on down in August. The estimated fund balance, if you approve this, and what you've already approved, it's going to be somewhere around 32 million in county general starting out. Now, you're going in 5.5 million, as Chris said, 6 in the hole, which you did last year, and we wound up coming out to the good because you had all this money turned back in, and interest rates was the big thing this year. We were getting almost nothing in interest on our fund balances until the Fed started raising interest rates. Now they got them up where we're bringing in 5.5 million a year in interest this past year. Will that stay? At some point, it's going to come down some. I don't think unless we just have a major economic turn down, like we saw about in the 08-09 financial crisis. I don't see those interest rates getting back down to nothing again. But are you going to see some cuts? Yeah. I mean, I've got about a point figured in cut over the next year with interest rates, and us still be okay. But it's all going to be based on the economy and interest rates and how much the departments turn back in. But unless we see something major happen, I mean, I feel okay with these numbers. But my crystal ball is cloudy. You got the best financial experts there is out there trying to predict what's going to happen, and so far every one's been wrong this year because they was predicting 4 or 5 rate cuts already, and you haven't seen any.
I'm just trying to compare to last year. When we dipped into fund balance, we pulled it down to 18.5 million. Now we're pulling out, we're going to be down around 25 or 26 million, correct?
Worst case scenario, you'd be about 27.
Okay, so we're still in much better shape.
Yeah, and when I say worst case scenario, that is if revenue doesn't come in like I think it's going to, and the departments don't turn money back in and everything, we'd still be at 27.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Moss?
Mayor, but there's only so many years that we can take that interest off that money. I don't know how many it is, but you've told me, what is it?
Well,
2, 3?
Well, no, that's just on a bond. You're getting into interest on a bond. That's 3 years. This doesn't involve the bond at all that we did for the jail and school. This is just interest on county general debt service where we've got reserves that is built up over the years. And those buildups are on purpose, if y'all remember. We had the tornado, we've had ice storms, and I remember coming to the commission in 2015, we had budget and said, we had the ice storm in Monterey. Was really bad, and you had Monterey City having to borrow money to do their cleanup until they could get the FEMA funds back. We didn't have to do that. We had smaller fund balance. We had about $9 million back then, but that's been on purpose that we've been building our fund balances up. So if we have something major happen, you can ride for a couple of years and not have to do anything. And so we don't want to eat it up too fast, but we don't want it to continue to grow much more either, because then it gets that fine line of how much is too much.
But that money that's coming back off of them bond and interest that we're saving in, what fund is it going in? General fund?
Except for the bond's interest goes into debt service, okay? All the other reserves, except for schools and roads, theirs goes to them, but the interest for county general and solid waste and parks and recreations and all the other funds goes into county general.
But we know that's probably going to come to an end.
If you can predict what the Fed's going to do, you're sitting in the wrong place. You need to be on Wall Street. And I'm being.
Commissioner Sandlin?
I'm joking.
Okay, talking about debt service requirements, it seems like last year on the Budget Committee, you told us at some point it drops by 20 or 30% or something.
2027, 2028.
27
and 28, our bonding capacity, we gain about 50% more bonding capacity than what we have currently.
Still 3 years out. That happened. Okay. And then last year on the Budget Committee, we, in anticipation of getting the Justice Center, the jail online, we did a bunch of spending, getting them fluff it up, hiring people, et cetera. It's about to open. I would just wondered if I missed the meeting that the sheriff came. I wonder if he'd just give us a quick little thumbnail as to how has that played as far as ramping up, have we funded your jail operation enough? I know you're about to open. Are Are we where we need to be? Did you hire a certain percent of the people we meant to, or how's that going, that type of thing? Just give us a little.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's early. We're going to move inmates in next week. And by the way, thank those of you who were able to make it the other day. We had a great open house and ribbon cutting. But yes, I feel pretty good with what we've got now, at least for the next budget. And so we'll see. We'll have a better take on it here in a few months. But I feel pretty good with the ones we've got now. Of course, you approved 60 more, and we've virtually got them all hired. We may have one or two openings, but I feel good that we're going to be okay until, next budget, and we'll just see how things go. I mean, we're going to increase some, obviously. We have some judges here in the audience, and they're going to tell you the same. It's going to increase capacity, but I feel pretty good with what we've got now. I think we've been operating the new building for several weeks now as if we have inmates already there. And, there's always going to be some things we got to adjust, but until we get, another 200 or 300 inmates, I think we're going to be okay for a while.
It's pretty impressive. I enjoyed going through it.
Sheriff, you are expecting some other revenue.
Hey, Vinny?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're not next. I'm sorry. I hate to cut you off.
No, I'm not.
We have Commissioner Randolph waiting. Commissioner Randolph?
Yes, Mr. Porter. Mayor, could you talk to us a little bit about, we get a report on building permits from you about every month.
Mm-hmm.
And could you just talk a little bit about building permits so that everybody understands what we know? And a little bit about sales tax this year over last year. Could you just go over that a little bit?
Sure. Building continues strong. Of course, Commissioner Tay sees that every day. We continue to see a lot of residential building. I always thought with the interest rates going up like they did for homeowners, that to take out a mortgage, that you would see a big slowdown, but we have not seen that. I think some other part of the country has, but the building is still brisk and going well. We haven't seen much. We didn't set a record this fiscal year, but we weren't too far from it. Teresa? Yeah, it could. I mean, at any time it could slow down, but when you see all these new subdivisions and stuff that are coming for regional planning, I think, I always said when the developers are willing to pay the going price for land there is today, at the interest rates they're having to pay, and are still willing to put their money into those subdivisions to build those houses, I mean, they're putting out millions of dollars to develop those subdivisions, they still feel comfortable. Now, that could change at any moment, but we're good on building. Sales tax was good this year. I don't have the exact, but somewhere around 5% increase over last year. Now I'm talking about county as a whole, all the cities and everything, just looking at a big picture. Most of that, though, is had to do with inflation. What people, it's costing them more to buy stuff, so they're having to pay more sales tax. But we have become the regional hub for shopping and eating and medical care and all kinds of things. So you've got people that are coming from the surrounding counties here to do a lot of that, which keeps our sales tax good. So we had another good year with it also. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Any more comments or questions on the amendment? Yes, sir, Mr. Jones.
Everybody, every employee.
It'd be every employee. It'd be every employee.
Every employee?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know, but are you including our department? Are you increasing our budget that much?
That's what he just said.
Yes.
That's my.
Did that just change the price tag?
I'm sorry?
Did that just change the price tag?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. We're ready to vote? Mr. Clerk?
All right. We're voting on the amendment, Mr. Wilson's amendment of the cost of living raising from $1,000 to $1,500 for every employee. Everybody understand what we're going to vote on?
You will abstain, Teresa, yes.
Okay.
And that's it, though, because you two are the school system.
Okay.
She abstains because she'd be voting on her own.
She'd be voting.
Yes, all right, yes. Take your handsets, ladies and gentlemen. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Then, Ms. Tays, please vote abstain. All votes are in. Right there. Stop. Anyone wants to change their vote anywhere? Please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, please press confirm. You're doing great. Thanks. Mr. Chairman, there are 22 voting yes, 1 voting no, 1 abstain. I declare that motion to have carried.
Okay, anybody else want to be recognized for an amendment? We are back to the motion as amended to approve the budget as a whole. Mr. Park, whenever you're ready, please call the roll.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're voting on the whole budget as amended. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Then please stop right there for me, please. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote? Wait. Anyone wish to change your vote anywhere? Now please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. Mr. Chairman, there are 24 voting yes, 0 no. I declare that motion to have passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Now we move on to the resolution proposing the tax rate in Putnam County, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024. Here are the funds and the tax rate as follows. County General Fund, .994. Sports and Recreation, .037. General Purpose School, .836. Debt Service, .490. Industrial Economic Development, .016. County Road Fund, .111. Solid Waste Sanitation, .160. General Capital Projects, .016. Total tax rate, 2.66, the same as last year.
Motion.
I have motion second. Any discussion on the proposed tax rate? Motion, Commissioner Donadio, second, Commissioner Eldridge.
All right.
Any discussion or questions? Mr. Clerk, whenever you're ready.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take your hands up if you favor the motion. Approving the tax resolution, press yes. If not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone please vote and stop right there. Hang up. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change your vote anywhere? Now please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, I have 24 voting yes, 0 no, 0 absent. I declare that motion to have passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next up is a resolution making appropriations for the various funds, departments, institutions, offices, and agencies of Putnam County, Tennessee for the year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025. Total appropriations will now be $266,420,874.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Cassidy, second. Mr. Wilson? Any discussion?
Give me that figure one more time.
266,420,874.
Got it. Thanks.
Any discussion? Mr. Clerk, whenever you're ready.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take your handsets for voting on the appropriation resolution. If you vote for the motion, vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone please vote. Stop right there. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now, please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, 1224 voting yes, 0 no on the appropriation resolution. I declare that to have passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next up is a resolution making appropriations to nonprofit charitable and civic organizations benefiting Putnam County, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion, Commissioner Cassidy, second, Commissioner Chaffin. Any discussion or questions? Mr. Clerk, whenever you're ready.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yes.
For you.
Yes.
Of those charitable contributions, I know last year when we had a tax increase, I got some questions about that. We're not having one this year, so I don't expect it to be as much of an issue. But when we researched that a little bit, many of those are things that we're committed to that are not what people would necessarily consider charity. Could the mayor or somebody speak to that for me, just to be clear as to what we're committed to and what's just, handing out money to the homeless?
I've tried to get that changed for years, and it's an audit thing, and so we pay for half, along with the city, of operating the animal shelter. We pay, along with the cities, for operating the library. You see HRA, Development District, all those things that we're committed to either by state law or we're in an agreement with the city to operate. I mean, there's, when you start at, I mean, it's over $1 million of stuff that we're committed to, that with the animal shelter and the library and all those things that aren't really, I mean, it's not charitable contributions. You're actually operating agencies or organizations. So it looks, I don't like the way it looks in that resolution, but unless we can get audit and, or maybe, I don't know, comptroller or whoever to change it, to take it out, that's the way they make us do it.
Thank you, Mayor.
If you know a lobbyist, call them and see if they can help you out.
Yeah, and our charitable contributions were, what, 60-something thousand, I think, when you look at 73 this year or 63 last year. So it's a small number compared to what that resolution is, because all those others are not really charitable organizations.
Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else? Mr. Clerk?
All right. Take your hands for voting on nonprofits. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you're not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote and stop right there for me. Outstanding. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote? Anywhere. All right. Now, please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I have all 24 voting yes, 0 no on nonprofits. I declare that motion to have passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next up, resolution rounding property tax amounts to the nearest dollar. This, when the taxpayer comes in, they're paying an even amount. So if it's between 1 cent, 49 cents, it rounds down to the nearest dollar. If it's between 50 cents and 99 cents, it rounds up.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion second. Commissioner Williams, Commissioner Donadio, any discussion? Mr. Clerk, whenever you're ready.
Take your hands in. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you're not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there, please. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Please press confirm for me now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Chairman, there are 23 voting yes, 1 no, 0 abstained, 0 absent. Declare that motion to have passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Last one for the budget. A resolution making appropriations from the opioid settlement funds to nonprofit and government-funded organizations involved in the prevention and treatment of opioid addiction benefiting Putnam County, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Cassidy, second by Commissioner Eldridge. Any discussion or comments? Whenever you're ready, Mr. Clerk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take your hands list if you favor the motion.
Hang on a second. This has nothing to do with what's proposed by the private company, correct?
Right, that's separate from the...
It's completely separate.
Completely separate, yeah. This is money from
I'm just making...
the lawsuits we've been getting, yes.
Just clarifying. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. We're in voting now, so just, if you favor that motion, vote yes. If you're not favor that motion, vote no, then stop right there. All right. All votes are in? Now, you understand what we're voting on? Everybody, anybody want to change their vote anywhere? Please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, I have 23 voting yes, 0 absent, 1 no. I declare that motion to have passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Congratulations, County Commission. You passed the budget. Other unfinished business. All right, moving on to new business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees, Planning Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Planning Committee recommends approval of the Road Committee's proposal for Millie Lane's County Road Map status, and I so move.
Second. Have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
That concludes planning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Fiscal Review Committee.
Thank you. Item A, recommends approval of the increase in filing cost of general session civil warrants from $87.50 to $138.50, and increasing court costs for traffic cases from $167 to $199, beginning September 1st, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? All right, Mr. Clerk.
All right, seeing none, take your hands list. If you favor the motion, vote yes. If you've not favored the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there, please. All those are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now, please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen.
So far.
Mr. Chairman, I have 24 voting yes, 0 no. Declare that motion to have passed.
Thank you. Item B recommends approval of the resolution supporting equalization in salaries for the general session judges, matching circuit court judges and chancellors for Putnam County, and I so move.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? Mr. Clerk, whenever you're ready. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Bennett.
Who pays those salaries, the county or the state?
General session. So I'm sorry. Oh, so we as a county fund general sessions. It's in the budget. And there's a discrepancy, and we've met, and that's one of the reasons the cost we're doing tonight will make up for that, more than make up for that in cost to us. Thank you for the question. Any more questions? Mr. Clerk.
All right, take your hands list. Favor the motion, vote yes. If not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there for me, please. All those are in. Anyone wish to change your vote anywhere? Please press confirm for me now, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, I have all 24 voting yes, 0 no. I declare that motion to have passed.
Thank you. Item C, recommends approval of Commissioner Education Incentive Policy, and I so move.
I
Second.
have a motion second. Any discussion on this? We've already approved this, but we'll take a roll call on this as well, since it's still pertaining to the increase in money.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take your hands. If you're in favor of the motion, vote yes. Or not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there, please. All those who are in any wish to change their vote anywhere, please press confirm for me now, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Andrews. Good. Mr. Chairman, all 24 voting yes, 0 no. I declare that motion to have passed.
Thank you. Item D, recommends approval of the Education Incentive Policy, and I so move.
Second.
A motion second. Any discussion? This is pertaining to employees. Discuss this as well. Mr. Clerk?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take your hands. If you're in favor of the motion, vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. Stop right there, please. Nope, don't. Hang on. Mr. Riddle. There you go. All votes are in now. Wait. Man, y'all getting ahead of me. Anyone else to change your vote anywhere? Now, please press confirm for me. Y'all getting anxious. You're doing great, though. Appreciate it very much. Mr. Chairman, there are 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 abstain. I declare that motion to have passed.
Thank you. That concludes fiscal review.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Nominating committee?
No items, so that concludes nominating.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Report of special committees? Resolutions?
There are no resolutions, Mr. Chairman.
Election notaries?
Got several. Here we go. These have all been approved by me in my office. Danny C. Allen, Wendy Osmanzer, Laura Anderson, Mark Burris, Sharon E. Carlisle, Porter Davidson, Ian Dedrick, Lisa Fuller, Benjamin Fuller, Jackie Hall, Matthew Hall, Francis Jean Hammock, Tina Huddleston, Sheila Holloway Julian, Andrea Karras, Jenny Kennedy, Whitney Kuhn, Donna Lawson, Jennifer Mandrero, Nicole Masters, Edward C. Nettlestrom, Donna M. Neesant, Daniel Nye, Daniel Page, Nancy Renee Reed, Christopher Brandon Reeves, and that's not Superman, Leslie G. Richardson, Miriam Rogers, Taylor Sanders, John Shanaki Jr., Connie Shoemake, Amy Smith, Belinda G. Spain, Jeremy M. Tollison, Landon D. Vick, Kristen Walker, Robert Brandon Ward, Randall Williva, Monta Welch, Robbie Reitman, and lastly, Cheryl Wilson.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any discussion? Mr. Clerk?
And we just have to vote these because we're doing as we just have to do as office situation. So if you'll take your hands, just press yes for me. And when you get yes pressed, go ahead and press confirm. Yes. You're doing great. Everybody press confirm.
Commissioner Hayes?
Good. Mr. Chairman, I declare all 24 vote yes. Thank you so very much.
All right. Other new business? Announcements and statements? Sheriff Harris?
I'll be quick. Just want to let you know that our current federal government, along with FCC, has teamed up and is starting to try to regulate more rates on our inmate telephone as well as our video visitation. If this goes into effect, it'll go into effect next April, which will be April 2025. But if it does, it will significantly lower her income for that. So sheriffs across the country, prisons, and all that's affected, everybody's on board. We're trying to appeal it, trying to fight that issue there. So we'll see how it comes. I'll keep you updated, but just want to let you know that that's something trying to be done. Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Thank you, Commission, for being patient. Thank you, everybody in the audience, for being patient. Appreciate the hard work. The fair starts Thursday, correct? All right. Hope you have a great weekend, great week. I need a motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned.